Joining me now, a member of the Select Committee on Benghazi that released its report this week, Congressman Lynn Westmoreland. He also serves on the Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence. Congressman, good to have you with us. I know it's been a tough slog for your committee and going through everything you have. I also know that you've got more witnesses to talk to, that you will, whatever they develop in those interviews, will be added into the report. How many and how important?
Well, you know, Mr. Dobbs, is you know, every time we interview somebody, we hear another name or another company or whatever, and so it's been a continual investigation. And because of that and the fact that the administration and the State Department and then really even the intelligence community has blocked us from getting a lot of these documents, that's the reason it's taking so long. So this new witness that we had today, or yesterday, I guess it was, that came forward, and he is going to have some good information. I've not seen the transcript yet, but I'm sure that we found him for a reason.
Let me say there are two. I know there are many sides and elements in this, but the two that grip my attention strongest is first the evening of that attack. 6 hours, a group of Marines ready to deploy, ready to be sent to the attack, kept waiting for 6 hours. It is. Yep. And we're told the president said, go and protect that facility and those Americans. Do you have a clear understanding of why that didn't happen? Well,
the president told Secretary Panetta to do what it took to save American lives. Secretary Panetta sat down with his staff and came up with 3 action items, and that was to deploy the FAST unit that was in Rota, Spain, the operators that were on a training mission in Croatia, and the SIF team. And so basically what ended up happening, I think they did do what they could to deploy, that the Marines, as you said, were sitting on a tarmac for 6 hours waiting on an airlift.
And changing
Unfortunately, I was going to say, unfortunately, they had to change clothes 4 times.
First of all, this isn't a military response to a commander-in-chief's order. And I think we all understand that. It also is not a military that is functioning at a high level if there isn't already at least 3 contingency plans already prepared for any U.S. facility in a hostile environment like Benghazi. It is mind-boggling to think of the level of preparation, the bizarre manner in which they managed to avoid following a presidential order, and 4 Americans died, maybe not as a result, but we'll never know what could have happened.
Yes, sir. You know, the interesting part of it is that the commander for AFRICOM was actually in Washington for a meeting. The Special Operations Force was in Croatia on a training mission, so their airlifts had left them there because they were going to do 2 weeks of training, and then the Marine unit, the FAST unit that was in Rota, had no lift. Their plane was in Stuttgart. And so, and on top of all of that, because the military thought the attack was over, one of the air commanders put the pilots on 8 hours rest. And, you know,
I got to tell you, the United States military, our command and control, starting with the commander-in-chief, looked like damn fools. There is no other way to put it. And, I mean, people can exalt Leon Panetta. They can do whatever they want to. But that Defense Department and that leadership in the Pentagon screwed up and did not respond as any American military in our lifetime should.
Yes, sir. Well,
am I wrong?
Mr. Dobbs, no, you're not wrong. And I think what we found out is that even when Mr. Panetta said deploy, I don't think he ever checked to see if anybody had deployed. And I don't think anybody ever called the secretary and said we hadn't deployed.
Yeah,
and it's the same thing with the president. Nobody know. We couldn't find out where he was and who he was with, but he never said.
We still don't know where he was.
No, sir.
But if no one's going to follow his orders, it doesn't matter much where he was or what he was doing. Let me ask.
Well, he could have.
He could have what?
No, I was going to say at least he could have checked to see what was going on.
Well, you know, I think that's right, but I think that there is so much blame here that it's appalling. The lack of security,
yes,
the failure of leadership in the State Department, in the Defense Department, in the White House. It is ignorant for the world's only superpower to behave in this manner. And the idea that then the White House puts out this baloney, it perpetrates a fraud on the American public, the families of the 4 Americans who were killed, and to this day no one's been held accountable for the deceit and the duplicity straightforwardly practiced by this administration. Why not?
Yes, sir. Well, let me say this
very quickly. If we
One of the new things that we found out was the Civic, the secure video conference that was done starting at 7:30.
Right.
Yeah, well, no, they weren't watching it. No. Miss Clinton was the only cabinet member on that. The rest of them were deputies and lieutenants. They came away, they were on there for 2 hours. They came away with 11 action items. 5 of them was about the video. And she was the senior person there, and you asked me personally, I think she was there so she could orchestrate the theme of what was going to come out of that Civic.
Right.
Now, okay, I'm sorry.
No, finish your thought, but we're really so far over time.
I know. Well, the point of it is they told Secretary Panetta one of the items was that he was going to call Terry Jones about taking down his video. The video that Cairo was reacting to was not even Terry Jones's video.
Yeah, I will repeat what I said, and I know that I won't repeat what I said, but I think we've come to agreement on everything. Congressman,
well, I can't imagine. Okay, I was going to say I can't imagine what those Marines felt like sitting on that tarmac for 6 hours, knowing other Americans were being killed.
I can't imagine I can't imagine that. But I can't imagine why it wasn't more important to every single American in that entire command structure right into the White House. At least the Marines were trying, for God's sake. Congressman, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Congressman Lynn Westmoreland, always good to have you here. And thanks for doing what you've done to bring this to light.